Okay, here's the new place. Just closed on it a couple hours ago. 1871 Dakota Junction, Friendship, Wisconsin. So we got a log cabin house, 3-bedroom, 2-story, full basement. Got a 1-acre lot on the bay. Heavily pine property. It's Castle Rock Lake. So early observations, we've got a stone driveway. Some people end up doing concrete. You can kind of see the distance to the road out there. Our mailbox is at the end of this long drive. Not much in the way of grass. It's a lot of pine needles on it. Very sandy, kind of clay type. Not sure what we can grow in this, if we'll have to drop some soil down. Looks like they chopped a lot of firewood, so there's a ton of firewood everywhere on this property, probably when they were clearing it. As I'm walking around, the ground is extremely soft. It kind of mushes down. A lot of the properties that we looked at were kind of sandy and mushy. Looks like a tree came down right here. We noticed as we drove up. Honestly, not even sure where the lot line is on this property. The property to the west is just an open lot that we're hoping to buy. A lot of the properties are undeveloped in this. This is called Timber Shores. So this piece over here that I'm looking at now, this is the west side. There's the air conditioner that's not hooked up and probably not working. The house has a forced air system. We've checked the heat, it works. The garage is also heated. But this air conditioner here, it must be the original. It's really beat up, and then it's not even hooked up. You can see down there it's not hooked up. The agent recommended that we clear out this sand. I think this is the only window to the basement. It's an in-ground basement. There's a lot of sand down here. He says the water will build up. He says we should pull out some of the sand and put some rock down there. So that's going to be a priority. The property has a city sewer, which is unusual instead of a septic system, but it is a well. It's LP gas, and the gas is on the other side of the property. It's in ground, which is nice. A lot of these properties have out of ground tanks, so this is more attractive. Property's not in a flood zone. They actually say none of the properties on these lakes are in flood zones because they have dams, and the dams control the level of the lake water. I was happy to see that the gutters go into the ground to run water away from the house. One thing we noticed is that there's a lot of pine needles up on the roof. The gutters do have gutter guards, but the pine needles build up on top of it. I think initially Tracy and I are going to want to do some landscaping out here along the front of the house, bushes and things like that. I'm not overly excited about the deck or the outside color of the house. The wood on the outside is in pretty good shape, but the deck in the front here is pretty small. The one in the back is much larger. Okay, so the garage is extremely large. Guy's got he must have been a carpenter of some sort. He has milling equipment, like where he could shoot out the sawdust out of the property here, out of the garage. So he had a mill hookup. Heated, it looks like it's heated out here. We've got special lights. He's got something to lift stuff. He's got a lift up here with a little crank that's attached on the end. We've also got an extension cord built in, which is nice. This guy was very handy. You could tell from some of the work on the inside. And we got a keypad here for the garage, but it is a good-sized garage. I mean, it's definitely bigger than the one we have now. These guys left us some shelving and so a ladder and this thing for the yard, to carry yard waste and stuff. This is the other side of the property. The Gas LP is down here. This black thing kind of sticking out. It's got a little meter on the inside that shows in percentages. It's got an entryway to the garage and then the deck in the back. A fire pit, which is very small and kind of dumb actually. It's just kind of rusted out piece of metal. We'll probably do some stone, make it bigger. Again, not much in the way of grass back here. Very beat up, a lot of weeds, a lot of pine needles, so we'll have to do something with that. More firewood. Now there is a house on this east side of the lot. It's actually, the house that they built is at the front of the lot, even though this lot also goes back to the water. You can't even see it. So his lot, the neighbor here on this east side of the property, is all the way up along the road. So it's pretty quiet back here. They did clear out a space so you can see the lake. This is actually the bay part of the lake. It's on the other side, on the east side of County Road Z. And then there's a common area path back here. Very heavily wooded. Last time we were back here we saw a lot of frogs and we actually saw a turkey. I'm hearing something here. Probably some frogs down in the weeds here, but there's a common area path that runs along the lake. To the west towards County Road Z, our pier is down that way. Quite a ways actually, maybe 5 lots down. And then when you get over on this side, it's all easement. This is very shallow water back here. Last time we were here, we saw people fishing on this part of the lake in little boats, though. You couldn't bring a big boat back here. You can see a pier on the other side across the bay, but that's the furthest in that you'll see a pier. You have to be that deep or further down to get. You couldn't put a deep boat over here. The water's just too shallow. It's almost like a pond. I see some kind of bird out there right now. I think. Yeah, there. I don't know. Maybe it's just a stump. This is a stump sticking out, I think. And then down this way is the path. You have to walk to get to our pier. Here's the back of the house. So we're right on the water, although set back quite a ways. Got a very nice view, a lot of windows. Big deck. We're thinking garden, bushes, probably plant some fruit trees and do some work on the fire pit and the grass. That'll be our outdoor work. These guys left us some bird feeders. Of course, Tracy will be adding to those or improving on them. They did leave a lot of stuff in the house for us, some furniture and other stuff. They've taken down a couple trees here already, so I don't know. That's where a lot of this wood came from, I'm sure.